So here I am, back in the garage, looking at that thing that I wish I'd never set eyes on in the first place. Got a brew and it's time to kind of rip this bed top off. Now since the last video I've spotted a load more problems with the truck.
Flashback.
Talking quiet because it's 11 o'clock at night. So basically this truck was supposed to be here before 12 o'clock midday today. Anyway, long story short, the delivery driver has not only delivered it so many days late, he's apparently coming at 11 o'clock at night, which is now in a massive Arctic, thinking it's reasonable to drop it off in the street. So I'm kind of working with him and the delivery driver. I mean, the guy that sold it me, it's not really his issue, but this fucking delivery driver, absolute cum stain. Right, so it is 11:15 at night, bait as you like, because the guy's been unable to deliver the truck to our house. So he's now raving up the street with no brakes, no lights and whatnot, all the way to my house, which is a mile away. This is by far the wankiest delivery I have ever had, especially considering the time. It's just a fucking piss take. Right, so if you're still watching, you're wondering what the hell went on last night. So I'm stood here at 11 o'clock, as you'll see, or you've seen in the video, with the garage open, ready for it to come in. I then get another phone call, which I had to then cut the video short. Oh, sorry, we're a mile away. We're going to have to leave it here unless you've got a way of moving it. Well, I haven't got a way of moving it, and it's 11 o'clock at night, mate. Like, I'm not going to be able to get anyone else here. It's not like this thing's got AA coverage, do you know what I mean? It's got no engine in it for a start. No brakes as well. So I was like, oh, brilliant. Like, you're going to have to take it back, mate. You're going to literally, like, that's it, take it back. Oh, no, we can't do that. It's just going to be dropped here, or you're going to have to come up, follow us back, and we'll tow it with a customer's car. So, okay, well, that's really, haven't got a choice. So I had to then go out last night while they towed it back to here. So I'm kind of glad they did, rather than leave it where they were going to leave it, because it wouldn't have been there. Like, it would have been nicked. Like, it's pretty much a ghetto where it was. So yeah, it's been a palaver. And then obviously the rear bed's damaged in transit, and there's some massive scratches. Don't know whether you probably won't be able to see, but over here to the point where my nail can go into it. So yeah, the roof needs painting, very minimal. And I think this top bed cover needs to come off, and I don't know what the paint's like under here, because looking at the tailgate, it's not been painted at the top of the tailgate. So I think I'm left with a bit of a lemon. Right, so most importantly a brew, and then we're going to get on to nitpicking, and I can assure you it's been a long time since I've had enough hair to worry about nits. Right, so let's roll it out and see what we're working with. Helps take the handbrake off. So great interior, and then we've got the steering column, which we don't have any of the mechanical fixings for that, so that's something that's going to need to be sourced. Come out through here, and we look at this down here and think, my God, what an expert welder we've got. So not entirely sure what's gone on there, but then when we go around to the other side, that one's at a completely different angle, but it's got the same quality of welding on it. As we then go under the truck, we are told that it's been fully restored. So that is a new cab mount. And also this exhaust is brand new. And I can tell it's brand new by looking at it because of how silver it is. I mean, it's not like it's just an old exhaust painted silver, is it? Panel gaps are another thing to check. So you'll see that this one's well off, but also where there's been previous metalwork repair. So we can see that this section here goes up and goes all the way across, and then for some unknown reason instead of it going across there, there's extra metal put in here on an angle, and you'll see compared to the other side, that is incorrect how it should be on a C10. So this angle's wrong. Additionally, before painting it, it's usually wise to make sure that anything you've kind of cut previously with an angle grinder has been welded back up beforehand. So this will need re-welding, this will need re-spraying. We've had a colour matched front panel apparently, which, well, that's your colour match. So Stevie run the colour match there, no offence Stevie. And yeah, just generally these are just a few little bits. We then get onto the perfect paint, which when a seller says it just needs a little buff is massively incorrect, because buffing any of that is just going to remove the paint because it's blistered from probably water underneath the paint itself. We've got some more paint blisters. Oh yeah. We've also got sanding underneath the paint working areas, which is hard to pick up on the video, but hopefully you can see it around here. And it's like that all the way around the truck. We've got bits of rust that haven't been sorted, holes just mashed through places they kind of shouldn't really be done. We've got kind of stuff like the rear wheel arch, rather than someone doing the metal work on it, they've just filled it. Like, I don't know why you would do that. Defects in the paint, pretty standard. And what's really annoying is I was told that the top of this bed was painted. However, you may not be able to pick it up on this video, but it's actually green on the top, so yeah, brilliant. And the top of this rear bed door is kind of a completely different colour as well. So yeah, kind of the whole truck needs painting, but it's also going to need a load of metal work. So on the grand scheme of things, it was definitely a 10-foot truck, but yeah, we've got to kind of rip it apart to see what we're working with. I've also decided that the chassis is no use to me, so we're going to do a full custom build on it. So basically all I'm using is the bodywork, and we're going to make something pretty cool out of it, hopefully, and obviously along the way repair all the bits that need repairing. So yeah, time to start tearing it down. So I've had to have a little sit down and a bit of a break, just to sort of process kind of this truck. So yeah, £6 paint job, brilliant show truck, everything, this, that and the other. I'm not looking forward to seeing what's underneath this wood. I've not lifted it up. I've lifted kind of the corners, but I've not looked under the soundproof. Reason being is as soon as I started stripping the carpet back, I kind of noticed, along with obviously noticing that the paint's green in areas on top of the bed, started noticing things I could put my fingers through. So there's rust holes here, which you may see my finger just disappear into it. So rather than just sort that out, I will just spray it black, no one will notice. Same with here, you can see that just here that it hasn't gone through yet, but that's completely rotten. You've got the top of these bed things that are made out of fiberglass. Like that's not steel, that's just filler. So obviously these top sections need remaking, this rear bed bit needs remaking. But it does make you think, kind of just looking at it now, like what's hidden behind the carpet. The whole cab's been carpeted. So we're gonna have to just strip it all back. Like there's no way I trust this truck, there's no way I trust what's gone on with it. I've been skanked here. Like literally, I've bought some crap stuff in my time, but I've been blatantly skanked here. So we'll see. So well done to the guy that sold it me, or whoever's done the bodywork on this. There's no way he's not seen this. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is what they think is good quality, but it's absolute shite. Like this is probably a best $7-8 grand truck. But yeah, I've paid substantially more than that for it. So yeah, had pants pulled down, there has been no lube used, and I have been dry bombed by the seller on this. This, I'd rather have started off with a $6 grand rotten truck, because at the minute, with nothing usable, literally nothing. Bodywork's not usable, chassis not usable, engine's in pieces. Yeah, so brilliant. So this is a lesson, don't buy other people's projects, especially if they say they're really good condition, because 9 times out of 10 they won't be. So, bit of a weird one. C10's now turned into a Model A, and ignore kind of the blurry bit. It's my camera on my phone. It's not great. We'll sort that out. I weren't going to buy anything because obviously I've sold a house and I'm kind of in the process of moving. However, I've really wanted a Model A for years and years and years, and this is a steel body. Really hard to get over here. They're all fiberglass. So full steel body. I paid quite a bit for it. It's 1930s, genuine paperwork. It's got a Heights front end on it. It's got a 9-inch forward rear axle with kind of all the anti-tramp bars, or four-link, whatever you want to call it. Chevy, it's SBC, it's 350 out of a Corvette. I was told it's like 300 some horsepower, so yeah, and an auto box, but they're getting pulled out straight away, because I'm not a V8 person. I'm going to try and annoy obviously all the purists, but I'm going to try and get a modern BMW 3-litre turbo diesel M57 engine in there, because that will light the back tyres up better than that Chevy will, and give me silly miles per gallon. So don't know if it's going to fit in a minute. This arrived literally 20 minutes ago. It dropped off at 9 o'clock. It's now 9:20. I'm getting this engine straight out and getting it straight on eBay. And then if I have time later today, which I probably doubt, to be honest, probably going like next week now, I'm going to try and drop the M57 in just to see if it'll fit. If it does fit, I'm going to mock up some just temporary mounts, because obviously this Model A is potentially going to go into storage depending on kind of what's going on with the house move. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I do know for a while it's going to have to go inside the vehicle, which may rule it out not altogether. But yeah, we'll see. So stay tuned.